Welcome to RFK Stadium, where this afternoon the Washington Nationals wrap up a 3-game series with the St. Louis Cardinals. Good afternoon. I'm Mel Proctor along with Ron Darling. This series started well on Friday with Esteban Loaiza pitching 7 strong innings and Brad Wilkerson hitting a leadoff homer as the Nationals won 4-1. But yesterday they were shut out by the Cardinals 6-0.
Yeah, they didn't play well yesterday, but they started out on a good note. On Friday night, Wilkerson led off the game with a home run, also walked 3 times to set up the offense. And then after that, it was all Esteban Loaiza, as he was very aggressive in the strike zone against this good Cardinal lineup. Went after them, 7 strikeouts, and the Nationals won 4-1. But yesterday, David Eckstein with this fake I'll bunt, and what happened? I hit a home run? Unbelievable for the Cardinals yesterday. Jason Marquis pitched one of those fine games. He hasn't won in 7 starts. He just pounded that strike zone with his sinker, with his slider, only gave up 3 hits. Great job by Marquis.
After today's game, the Nationals will leave for Atlanta, where they face the Braves. They've got 26 of the remaining 33 games against teams within the National League East, so they've got to take care of their own business. Because the starting pitching is depleted with injuries to Ryan Drees and Tony Armas, Frank Robinson has to dip into his bullpen today for veteran left-hander John Halama.
And the second left-hander in a row for the Nationals. John Halama, you can see as a starter what his numbers are, but he's also won 14 games with the Seattle Mariners. He's pitched in the postseason. He should be able to handle the start for the Nationals.
Right fielder Jose Guillen has had an outstanding season. He's been hot on this homestand with 6 hits and 18 at-bats, including 2 home runs. The Nationals are now 2.5 games out of the wild card spot, 6 back in the NL East. They need a win today against the Cardinals. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. A beautiful afternoon as this homestand comes to a conclusion. The Nationals leave for Atlanta following the game to begin a series with the Braves tomorrow. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals today. David Eckstein, who had a home run yesterday, leading off playing shortstop. He's gone 4 for 8 in the series so far and has driven in 3 runs. Jim Edmonds in center field batting second. Albert Pujols at first base. Yadier Molina catching and batting fourth. So Taguchi in left field. Mark Brezzolanic, who has been out with a bad knee, is at second base. Abraham Nunez at third. Hector Luna will play right field today. Mark Mulder was initially the starter, but has been scratched because of a stiff neck, and veteran right-hander Cal Eldred will start in his place in bat 9.
Well, pitching for the Nationals today in his only start this year for the Boston Red Sox, John Halama beat the Tigers in 5 innings, only gave up a couple of runs, and you see so far for the Nationals in 7-inning pitch out of the bullpen, he has not given up a run. They would like that effort today. Defensively behind Halama for the Nationals. In left field, Brad Wilkerson, who had a shot, cortisone shot in his shoulder, is now back in left field. Preston Wilson in center. Jose Guillen in right field. Vinny Castilla at third base. Christian Guzman at short. Jamie Carroll getting the start at second base today, giving Jose Vidro a rest. Nick Johnson at first base. And the same with Gary Bennett, giving Schneider a rest, is catching today.
The umpires, Gary Darling behind the plate today, Larry Poncino at first base, Paul Nauert at second, and Mark Wagner working at third. Let's take a look at the Jim Coleman Toyota.com keys to today's game.
Maybe Frank's the key to the game today. For the Cardinals, 2 for 1. They have on a pace to have 203 double plays this year. Month to month after yesterday's game, 11 consecutive winning months for the Cardinals. That's amazing. For the Nationals, in Grid Bergman. Jason Bergman's on the team, brought up for Matt White. He's a reliever. And that's offensive yesterday with only 2 hits against Jason Marquis, who hadn't won in 7 starts. It was 1 win in his last 13 starts, and Nationals just couldn't get to him.
David Eckstein leading off. He takes a strike. Eckstein 4 for 8 in the series with a home run. He's hit 6 home runs this year. Doesn't hit too many, just chokes up on the bat, tries to hit the ball where it's pitched. Good leadoff man, works the count. It's a line drive that's caught by Vinny Castilla for the first out. Very pleasant afternoon here at RFK. 84 degrees at game time.
Well, John Halama will throw a lot of strikes. This one down and in. And Vinny Castilla playing Eckstein perfectly. The ball is off the end of the bat, not really a line drive.
John Halama, 33-year-old left-hander from Brooklyn, New York. First came up with the Houston Astros, spent most of his career with the Mariners. Last year was with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and was with the Red Sox earlier this year. Jim Edmonds pulls the first pitch foul. Edmonds has just one hit and 7 at bats so far in this series. Halama was signed as a minor league free agent on August the 5th by the Nationals. Fastball is high. Halama's a big guy. He's about 6'5", but does not throw real hard. His fastball will top out about 85, 86 miles an hour. More of a Jamie Moyer, Tom Glavine type of pitcher. 2-1. Halama was a 23rd round draft pick by the Houston Astros out of St. Francis College in New York. Popped up off third base. Vinny Castilla near the third base coaching box for the second out. Nationals need to win 3 of their next 4 to avoid posting back-to-back losing months. Their bullpen has been outstanding, leading the major leagues in earned run average for August. And the Cardinals turning double plays at a record pace. They lead the major leagues with 163, and on their current pace would break the club record for double plays. Albert Pujols up for the first time. The Nationals have done a good job with him so far. Ground ball up the middle. Diving attempt by Jamie Carroll, but a base hit for Pujols. That's his first hit in the series.
Well, you see the thing about Albert Pujols, he does everything well. Jumps on his first pitch from Halama, a changeup away. When he hits the ball, it has that big top spin. And watch how Albert Pujols tries maybe to press the issue, maybe to take the extra base. It makes Preston Wilson get that ball in quickly.
Yadier Molina, the catcher, batting 4th today. He is 0 for 7 in the series so far. Slow curve for a strike. John Halama has one of the best pickoff moves in the business. So it's highly unlikely that the Cardinals will do much running today. Although Pujols has been running more this year than he has in the past. He's stolen 11 bases in 12 attempts. Up down the right field line and foul. Jamie Carroll playing second base today in place of Jose Vidro. John Halama last year with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays was 7-6 with a 4.70 earned run average. He made 14 starts. Been a starting pitcher for most of his career. His best year was in 2000 with Seattle when he was 14-9.
Pujols talking to first base coach Dave McKay. He was smiling because they've been told about Halama's move also.
Pujols picked off. Nick Johnson throws to second base. Got him. Pujols is upset. He didn't think so. He thought he got in there safely. Arguing with the second base umpire, Paul Nauert. But that ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. And you see the John Halama pickoff move on display. Albert Pujols, who got picked off by John Halama to end the top of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines batting order today for the Nationals as they face right-hander Cal Eldred. Brad Wilkerson back in the lineup, leading off playing left field. Jamie Carroll's at second base. Nick Johnson at first. Jose Guillen, who's been red hot over his last 16 games, hitting .339 with 4 homers and 9 runs batted in. He's in right field. Preston Wilson in center. Vinny Castilla's at third base. Gary Bennett catching today. Christian Guzman at shortstop. And John Halama, the pitcher, batting ninth.
Pitching for the Cardinals, the 37-year-old Cal Eldred, who now has appeared in 114 games in the last 2 years for the Cardinals in relief, getting the spot start for Mulder. In 1993, as a starter for Milwaukee, he won 16 ball games. Defensively for the Cardinals, in left field, So Taguchi, who had 2 key RBIs in yesterday's game. Jim Edmonds in center field. Hector Luna moves out to right field from second base. Abraham Nunez at third base. David Eckstein at short. Mark Gutzelanek at second base. Albert Pujols at first. And Yadier Molina.
And the question is, how much longer will Albert Pujols be at first base? As he argues with Larry Poncino, Tony La Russa coming out there. Pujols still thinking that he was safe at second base after being picked off by John Halama. Boy, he's fired up. He may get tossed here. Wow. Certainly letting him have his say. I wouldn't think he could put up with much more of this.
Pujols pleading his case to home plate umpire Gary Darling.
Boy, he is fired up. I'm surprised that he hadn't been thrown out. These umpires are showing a lot of patience with him.
Well,
he has been thrown out. He has been thrown out.
You can't argue like that if you haven't been thrown out.
Well, he was tossed out well before that, apparently. I didn't see the indication by the umpires, but they must have thrown him out right away.
Well, he argued his case at second base, and then Poncino, first base umpire, got involved in it, and I think that's what upset Pujols. And break for the Nationals. Not to have Albert Pujols in the lineup. You can see the play is really close at second, but usually when the ball beats you and you've been picked off, that play is 99% of the time you're going to be called out. You can see Albert has a case because it looks like his slide, he might have gotten in there before the tag. Kind of a high tag from Guzman.
I'm not sure Guzman even tagged him, did he?
So Albert had a case, but a lot of times when you get picked off, you're going to be called out at second base. It's just how it goes.
So the Nationals have caught a couple of breaks today. Mark Mulder, the scheduled pitcher, not starting because of a stiff neck, and now the Cardinal superstar Albert Pujols gets thrown out. Einer Diaz goes into play first base.
Usually a catcher, Einer Diaz, now at first, ready to go. Thought he was just going to sit back for a while and have some sunflower seeds, but he's in the game.
Well, that's something you don't see very often. A star player getting ejected in the first inning.
Well, one, Albert Pujols always has had the reputation. He's a fine player, never really argues with the umpires. And plus, if you're an umpire, you really had to say something bad. Why would you throw Albert Pujols here? I mean, you come to watch him play.
Brad Wilkerson leading off for the Nationals, takes a pitch high from Cal Eldred. Eldred, a first-round draft pick of the Milwaukee Brewers in 1989 out of the University of Iowa. Been a starting pitcher most of his career. But he's one of those guys so useful to a team because he can pitch in any role. He can start, he can work middle relief. He even served as a closer a couple of years ago when Jason Isringhausen was hurting.
Well, even though he's starting, you can see because he spent all these last 2 years with St. Louis in the bullpen, he's pitching from the stretch to the first batter, Wilkerson.
Wilkie trying to bunt his way on. Picked off by the second baseman, Grudzielanek. Grudzielanek playing in his first game in the series. He's been out with a infected knee.
Well, after getting on base 4 times with a home run and 3 walks in Friday night's game, Wilkerson trying to do something to get on base for the Nationals. Yesterday, only 2 hits, no one in scoring position, no walks.
Jamie Carroll getting a start today at first base, comes in, or at second base, comes in hitting .245. First base about the only thing he hasn't played.
Yeah, I think he can play anywhere.
Cal Eldred's spent most of his career with the Brewers, also pitched for the White Sox, and now in his 3rd year with the Cardinals. Fastball is low.
Eldred, when he first came up with the Brewers, threw very hard, 90-plus fastball. He doesn't have that as much anymore, but tries to spot his pitches in the strike zone. Throws more of a 4-seamer, not a 2-seamer. Ball usually doesn't sink.
Line foul, 2-2 to Jamie Carroll. Cal Eldred's nickname is Corn-Fed because he is from Iowa. Actually grew up near where the Field of Dreams field is, where the movie was shot. Still lives on a farm there in the off-season.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Ground ball to Mark Redbirds. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Nick Johnson. Nick has been pretty quiet on this homestand. He's 3 for 19 and just 1 for 7 in the series against St. Louis. His batting average has dropped to .293. Fastball too high. By working solely from the stretch, I guess a pitcher has just one set of mechanics to worry about. You don't have to worry about the windup.
Well, he knows after this start also he's going back in that bullpen, right. So he wants to stay consistent.
Ball to center field, but Jim Edmonds is there. 3 up, 3 down for the Nationals. No score at the end of 1 inning from RFK. Teams back in the NL East, heading for Atlanta to face the first place Braves. Yadier Molina in the cleanup spot today, leading off. John Patterson will start the first game in Atlanta tomorrow against Jorge Sosa. It'll be Livan Hernandez against John Thompson in the second game, and Esteban Loaiza will pitch the third game. One hopper to the shortstop, Christian Guzman, and throws out Molina. Loaiza will face left-hander Horacio Ramirez. So they missed Tim Hudson, John Smoltz. Although Smoltz is scheduled to start the final game on Thursday.
Well, Taguchi yesterday with a big RBI hit against Matt White, the starter for the Nationals. Caught a breaking pitch up in the strike zone, delivered it to the left field for 2 RBIs. So far true to form, John Halama, although he threw a ball there, throwing strikes in the first pitch, and the Cardinal hitter's very aggressive.
1 ball, 1 strike to So Taguchi, one of 3 brothers. His brothers are how and why. He's So.
You're always like this on Sunday, to tell you the truth.
Close play at first, got him. Nick Johnson to Halama covering. Taguchi runs well. He says it was that close.
Well, Taguchi is always hustling. Johnson with the good play, the good shovel over to Halama, who just beats Taguchi. Larry Poncino on the call.
That was close.
Taguchi run. That's one of the reasons Tony La Russa loves playing So Taguchi.
Mark Redbirds making his first start in the series. He's been out for the past 7 games with an infection in his left knee. He was hitting very well when he went down. He's hitting .364 since the All-Star break. High fly ball to right. Jose Guillen makes the catch Another good inning for John Halama. No score from RFK as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. Beautiful afternoon as the Nationals wrap up this homestand. Jose Guillen will lead off the second inning. In Friday night's game, he had a very interesting hit, to say the least.
The long and the short of it. The short of it being this ball down the right first base line that Guillen hustled out to first base, ended up getting a hit. Supan's supposed to knock this foul. He doesn't. Comes back fair. Hit for Guillen. And then later hits this drive to center field that Jim Edmonds could not make a play on. It was a triple for Guillen. He later scored on Preston Wilson's sacrifice fly.
Jose Guillen 1 for 6 lifetime against Cal Eldred, who misses high with a fastball. Jose has had a good homestand, 6 for 18 with 4 runs scored, a triple, 2 homers, and 2 runs batted in. And you see his numbers over the last 15 games. Out in front of a changeup, fouls it back, 2-1. Cal Eldred, originally drafted by the New York Mets on the 26th round out of high school, but didn't sign. Instead went to the University of Iowa, and then was a first-round draft pick of the Brewers. Ground ball to the shortstop. David Eckstein makes the play to retire Guillen.
Could admire pitchers like Eldred. He started out by being a guy who threw very hard, could strike out a lot of batters, and now it's completely changed. Keeps the ball down in the strike zone, sinks it, cuts it, throws a little slider, tries to get ground balls. Let his defense work for him.
Well, years ago, when he was a starter with the Milwaukee Brewers, he had a tendency to get into very high pitch counts. In 1994, he had 11 starts of 130 or more pitches. He had 3 games. He threw more than 140 pitches. Preston Wilson up for the first time. Takes a fastball for a strike. I guess that's something young pitchers have to learn, is get the hitters out early in the count. Don't throw so many pitches.
A lot of it is just confidence in your stuff. Young pitchers, a lot of the times, are just not confident that their pitches are good enough to get major league hitters out, so they kind of tinker around the strike zone, and then once they become confident, they go right after the hitters.
Change up low, 1-2 to Preston Wilson.
I think also a lot of time young pitchers are so fascinated with the strikeout. They want to strike out the batter. They want to embarrass the batter. Just get him out.
An outs and out. And in the course of a long season, the fewer pitches you can throw, the better off you're going to be. In fact, Eldred, talking about those higher pitch counts, developed a lot of arm problems after that. Had to eventually have elbow surgery.
Missed the entire 2002 season because of his right elbow.
Struck him out. First strikeout for Eldred. Well, Mark Mulder was supposed to start yesterday's game, but he was scratched because of a stiff neck, and all Jason Marquis did is throw a 2-hitter. And Mulder unavailable again today, and Eldred's off to a good start. He's retired all 5 hitters he's faced.
Well, that's how strong this Cardinal team is that Mark Mulder, one of their best starters, can go down, miss a couple of days in a row, and they can throw out a Jason Marquis, who probably was the best thing for him. Hadn't won the last 7 starts, and they told him at the last second, went out there and pitched a great game.
Yeah, pitchers sometimes are a strange breed. Guys who are...
Hey, I'll take offense to that. Okay, good.
You're an exception.
No.
No, but you know what I mean. When you have
exactly.
4 days to think about your next start, some guys just don't handle it well. They get too tense. They get wired up. Some are just better suited pitching out of the bullpen when they don't know when they're going to pitch. Fastball inside, 2-1 to Vinny Castilla. With his 0 for 5 lifetime against Eldred. Talking about a pitch count yesterday, Frank Robinson was saying that Jason Marquis threw 6 innings through only 49 pitches, which means that the National hitters are coming up either swinging at the first pitch or early in the count. He said we've got to do a better job of taking pitches, working the count, getting the count in our favor, and doing something with it.
especially when a pitcher like Jason Marquis on 3 days rest ended up throwing only 91 pitches for that complete game.
Slider outside, 3-2. Frank said he and Tom McCraw, give the information to the hitters so they are supposedly prepared going into a game against a particular pitcher, but they're not executing the game plan. Pulled down the left field line, foul.
Vinny Castilla said something interesting yesterday. He said that after the game, he was a teammate of Marquis when he was with Atlanta, and Marquis was one of those pitchers that threw high fastballs, a big overhand hook, and he said he had never seen Marquis pitch the way he did yesterday, which is a lot of sinkers and sliders and getting the guys to hit ground balls.
Well, we've talked earlier in the series about Dave Duncan, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, one of the best in the business, and how he's taken journeyman pitchers and made them into big winners, either by having them add a pitch or by preparing them so well for the hitters they're going to face. A little low. 2-out walk to Vinny Castilla, and the Nationals have their first base runner. Gary Bennett getting a start behind the plate today. He's 2 for 2 against Cal Eldred. Einer Diaz at first base, place of Albert Pujols, who was ejected in the first inning. Foul ball, strike 1 to Bennett. Cal Eldred was on the disabled list from April 11th to June 12th because of a viral infection that causes inflammation around the heart. But fortunately, they discovered his condition early enough that they could take care of it with rest. Ground ball to third. Nunez to second for the force play on Vinny Castilla. The end of 2 innings. The Nationals and Cardinals are scoreless. RFK Stadium, Abraham Nunez, the third baseman, will lead off the 3rd inning. He made quite a play in yesterday's game.
Well, filling in for Scott Rowland, who's injured. Gold Glover Scott Rowland, but Abraham Nunez showed yesterday that he can field also. This ball really chasing away from him off the bat of Jose Guillen. Makes a fine diving play and perfect throw to Pujols at first.
So Nunez, a switch hitter, coming up, batting right-handed. Kind of a journeyman player, spent most of his career with the Pirates. Handles the bat very well. Good bunter. Good hit and run man. Runs pretty well. Having one of his better years at the plate, hitting .303 coming into this game. Slow curveball for a strike from John Halama.
Nunez is one of those guys you'd rather have rolling, of course, at third base. Nunez is a great bench player, but one of those guys that can come in and fill in at any time.
That almost hit Hector Luna, who's on deck.
When you think about it, Hector Luna filling in for Guzelanek with that bad knee, and So Taguchi in left field getting a lot of playing time because Reggie Sanders is down with that broken leg. Although we were talking to Barry Weinberg, who's the trainer for the Cardinals, and he said that Sanders is about 10 days away from being back.
Rowland is out for the year after undergoing shoulder surgery. Foul ball.
I mean, that's one of the keys to any team, because you're going to have injuries during the course of the year. So you got to have those kind of players that can come in and fill in for 3, 4, 5 games. Nunez's part, he's going to be in there for a lot longer than that. John Rodriguez is another player for the Cardinals that has come up from Memphis and helped them.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Abraham Nunez. Hit foul down the right field line. Abraham Nunez, originally signed by the Toronto Blue Jays out of the Dominican Republic. His agent, a former major league pitcher, Dave Stewart.
Stu.
I just like to negotiate with Stu.
Give you that stare.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever you want.
In the hole, Guzman's going to have to hurry. Got him.
Well, we've been amazed all year by Christian Guzman's range. This play in the hole, tough ball to get to. Plus, it takes a bad hop here at the end, but gathers it and makes a fine throw to Nick Johnson with that footwork at first base. I'm surprised at how strong his arm is, ability to get that ball off, running away from first base in that hole.
Hector Luna playing right field today. Comes in hitting .284, no homers, 6 runs batted in. Luna also from the Dominican Republic, originally signed by the Cleveland Indians. He was taken in the Rule 5 draft by Tampa Bay and then returned to Cleveland and was taken in the second Rule 5 draft by the Cardinals. Slow curve hit hard by Jamie Carroll. Base hit for Luna. That's the second Cardinal hit off John Halama.
Well, Luna gets a breaking ball in the outside corner, able to hit that ball up the hole. Jamie Carroll just missing it, and we've seen that turf here at RFK give way many times. Of course, the Nationals share this field with the DC United soccer team.
Looks like he might be hurting. Pitcher Cal Eldred up undoubtedly to bunt. He's hitless in 21 at bats this year. And bunts it foul. Jose Akendo, the third base coach, coming in to talk to him.
Neither the starter for the Nationals, John Halama, or Cal Eldred, very familiar being up at that plate.
John Halama's already picked off one runner. He picked off Albert Pujols in the first inning.
Almost picked off Nick Johnson there. Nick's trying to come in for that bunt. Kind of fooled Nick.
Let me correct myself. I said Eldred is 0 for 21. He's been in 21 games, but only had one at bat. I think we should just yell out to him, bunt. Can't imagine him doing anything else, can you?
Yeah.
And he may not have been bunting that time.
Well, you see, when you come off the base, you can call a balk here, because if the first baseman is off the base and not holding the runner on, Larry Placino, first base umpire, can call a balk. Was called a balk a few games ago against the Cincinnati Reds and Brandon Clausen.
Eldred swing away this time and fouls it back, 1-2.
What had happened is Sean Casey, the first baseman for the Reds, came off the bag, not expecting Clausen to throw over the first. He did, and if you're not on the base, that is a balk. That's why Nick Johnson keeps coming into Halama, trying to find out, is John thinking of coming over to first or going to go home?
Luna takes a little bigger lead this time.
Well, Halama went to first, but before he did, you could see that Eldred did square around the bunt. So even with 2 strikes, looks like Eldred is still going to be bunting.
For some reason, he swung at one pitch, fouled it off. Pretty good pitch. Called the ball. The breaking ball was right there.
Well, that was a good backdoor breaking ball by John Halama. Hits Gary Bennett right in the middle of his gear. Usually that pitch is called for a strike.
Gary Darling didn't endear himself to Frank Robinson with that call. Eldred bunts it foul and strikes out. First strikeout for John Halama this afternoon. And we go to the top of the order for David Eckstein, who lined out to third baseman Vinny Castilla's first time up. Eckstein, who has been hot coming into the game, 10 for his last 25, hitting .400 over that stretch. And a very tough player to strike out. He's the second hardest player in the major leagues to strike out. He averages just one strikeout every 16.3 at bats. Hector Luna at first base, 2 outs. Curveball for a strike.
Halama looking very comfortable so far on the mound, throwing strikes, mixing up his pitches with his breaking ball. He's got a good changeup. He's sinking that fastball. He looks great coming out of the bullpen and getting the spot start.
Line foul by Eckstein, 0-2. Halama's had 3 good outings in relief for the Nationals, 7 shutout innings total.
He had that one game in New York where he pitched 4 scoreless, allowed the Nationals to come back against Pedro Martinez. Really not against Pedro, against the bullpen for the New York Mets, and tie that game at 8-8, eventually losing in extra innings.
One and 2.
You know, Halama is the perfect pitcher for this national team with a good defense, good infield defense. He throws strikes, makes the hitters put the ball in play, and trusts his defense.
Another throw over for Hector Luna. Ground ball. Dropped by Vinny Castilla, and the throw is too late. That'll be an error. So the usually reliable Vinny Castilla makes an error.
And the reason this becomes an error is because Castilla, one, can't field it cleanly, but also you have to give credit to David Eckstein because he's always running full speed straight out of the box. Makes that error for Castilla and the Nationals.
That's the 8th error of the season for Vinny. Runners at first and second with 2 outs for Jim Edmonds. Edmonds popped out to third baseman Vinny Castilla's first time up. Ball 1.
You know, for every baseball team, but especially the Nationals, it's all those little things that somehow add up. Halama has to throw a few more pitches now that Castilla wasn't able to make that play. Got 2 on now with Jim Edmonds, the dangerous Jim Edmonds at bat.
Einer Diaz on deck. It would have been Albert Pujols, but he was ejected from the game. Fastball away, 2-0.
You know, Jim Edmonds at the plate, you have to think Halama pitching that Edmonds, even though you don't want to have the bases loaded, you'd rather face Einer Diaz than Jim Edmonds with a 2-0 count. Have to make sure you throw going to throw a good pitch here. Make sure it's on the corner. You don't want to go right after Edmonds and let him hurt you.
He's hitting .290 with 5 homers against left-handers. High pop-up into right center. Jose Guillen is there. That's all for the Cardinals. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. In series, the Nationals won the first game. The Cardinals won yesterday. Christian Guzman leading off the bottom of the 3rd and takes a strike from Cal Eldred. Eldred making his first start of the year in there in place of the ailing Mark Mulder. Christian Guzman's fan club. The smash back to the mound, deflected to shortstop Eckstein, who throws him out. Eldred just wondering what happened there. It almost hit him. He appears to be all right. 1-6-3 the scoring on the play.
Yeah, definitely hit him in the back. Not only is Christian Guzman struggled, but struggling here with some luck as he hits this hard smash up the middle of the box. Hits off the back of Eldred right to Eckstein. Bad break for Christian Guzman and the Nationals.
And the pitcher John Halama up for the first time. Only the second at bat for Halama. He takes a fastball high. Halama is left-handed, which may explain some of the things he does. If he has a bad outing, he'll get out a book and read. He's a voracious reader, so as soon as he gets into a book, he forgets about the bad outing or the bad start.
God, I wish I could have done that. Carried for 4 days. Forget about reading the book.
And he says on vacation he just likes to go someplace quiet. In fact, sometimes you just stay home and not answer the phone. That's his version of a vacation. Of course, I do that too, but for different reasons. I get so lonely sometimes that I'll call the solicitors. I won't wait for them to call me. Struck him out. In fact, this is a true story. I kept getting a phone call over and over for like 5 days in a row, and I kept looking at the area code, and I didn't recognize it. Nobody left any information. I called information, said, what area code's that for? And they said, Fort Lauderdale. Well, finally I answered. It was a solicitor on my cell phone.
Oh.
How can that happen? Strikeout number 2 for Cal Eldred. What's the world coming to when the solicitors can get to you on your cell phone?
That's right. You're a busy man, too, on that cell phone.
Strike 1 to Brad Wilkerson, who popped to second his first time up. Nationals still looking for their first hit off Cal Eldred. Oh, and 2. Eldred was a real workhorse when he pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers. One year he made 36 starts, 34 another. Fastball misses, 1 and 2. Last 2 years he didn't start any games for the Cardinals. Prior to this start, his last start was with the White Sox. Fastball high and away, 2 and 2.
You know, yesterday, Mel, the Nationals didn't have a runner in scoring position the entire game, and now last 14 2/3 innings only have 3 base hits.
They haven't scored a run since the 5th inning of Friday night's game. Brad Wilkerson sat out yesterday's game after getting a cortisone shot in his shoulder. High fly ball to left. Taguchi on the run. And the Nationals go quietly in the 3rd. Still no score from RFK. Nationals and Cardinals are scoreless as we go to the 4th inning. Einer Diaz will lead off. It should have been Albert Pujols, but he was ejected from the game in the 1st inning after this occurred.
Well, National starter John Halama with that good move to first. Pujols picked off first, called out by second base umpire Paul Nert. And after an argument ensued after the inning was done, Pujols very angrily talking to first base umpire Larry Poncino. That didn't work out for him. He was ejected.
So Diaz coming up for the first time. Diaz has spent most of his career with the Cleveland Indians. Also has played with the Rangers and the Expos. Curveball down and in for a ball. In 2002, Diaz set an all-time Cleveland Indians record for the fewest RBIs in a season by a regular. He had just 16 RBIs. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. Diaz, a pretty good fastball hitter, but he has trouble with anything off speed. John Halama, good off-speed pitcher, bounced to short. Christian Guzman, throw almost pulled Nick Johnson off the bag, but Diaz is out.
Well, just rolls this over to shortstop, but like a lot of the Cardinal players, always hustling down that line is Diaz. And Nick Johnson, with that good footwork, comes across the base because that throw up the line from Guzman goes across the base line, and Diaz just avoiding that ball and Nick Johnson.
Ball one to Yadier Molina, the young catcher who grounded to shortstop his first time up. Molina had just turned 23 in July, younger brother of Benji and Jose Molina, both catch for the Angels. And he has a chance to be the best of the three if he's not already. He's thrown out 54% of opposing base stealers this year. When you consider the league average is normally around 32 or 33%, that's pretty amazing. Foul back, 2-1 to Molina.
Well, it says a lot about the young player that Tony La Russa would entrust the cleanup spot to a young player, Yadier Molina. But that's what they've had here because of the injuries. They've had to put people in different positions and still manage to win series. Said in the pregame.
Well hit ball to right field. Jose Guillen on the run and makes the catch. Well, this is the final game of this homestand. It's on to Atlanta for a 4-game series and a showdown with the Atlanta Braves. And right now, Ronnie, the Nationals trail Atlanta by 6 games.
Well, Atlanta's playing well. They're playing well at home, have the best record in the National League at home. So it's going to be a tough task. But like you said before, when we were talking about, they have a really good matchup with their pitchers. Patterson, probably been their best pitcher the last month, is starting that series.
So Taguchi up for the second time, grounded out to the first baseman his first time up, and takes a ball from John Halama. Halama's allowed just 2 hits so far. High fly ball into shallow right center, and again it's Jose Guillen. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the 4th coming up in a scoreless game. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's time for the Aflac trivia question. Which pitcher holds the Montreal-Washington franchise record for saves in a career? I believe I know that one.
Good guess.
There's some good relievers for the Expos/Nationals. Of course, Chad Cordero's a closer now, but he had Jeff Reardon and John Wetland, Uget Urbina, all outstanding closers. Jamie Carroll leading off the 4th inning. The Nationals still looking for their first hit. And only 2 hits yesterday, none so far today against Cal Eldred, making his first start. Jamie grounded to second his first time up. Speaking of Chad Cordero, we were talking before the game with Bobby Wine, the advanced scout for the Braves. Remember last time Cordero was rolling along, getting save after save, and the Nationals faced the Braves, and all of a sudden they started hitting first pitch fastballs. And that's what an advanced scout does, is provide that kind of information to a team, and he's one of the best.
He is one of the best. Around the game a long time. He was telling us many of his baseball stories. He has some great ones.
Ground ball up the middle. There goes a no-hitter. The first Nationals hit off Eldred. Now, Bobby Wine was telling us some great stories about Frank Howard.
Well, fastball out over the middle of the plate. Runs back in on Jamie Carroll. Just hits it right up the middle. Christian Guzman hit a similar ball. Ended up hitting Eldred and was able to make the play. But Jamie Carroll with a good base hit up the middle.
Nick Johnson hit the ball hard his first time up. He lined out the center fielder. But Bobby Wine was talking about Frank Howard. Gil Hodges was the manager of the Washington Senators at the time. And Frank loved to eat. His weight had ballooned up over 300 pounds. But Gil Hodges called him in and said, Frank, you know, you're way too heavy. You're going to have to go on a diet. So he stopped drinking beer, started eating salads, got down to about 280 pounds, came in, they weighed him. So that night he went out, ate a couple of steaks, a few other things, came back in the next day, and the trainer said, Gil wants to weigh you again. So well, they just weighed me yesterday. He gets on the scale, he's 301 pounds. Put on like 16 pounds in one day. One and one to Nick Johnson. We look up at those white seats in the upper deck here, though, and just wonder how Frank Howard could hit the ball so far. Everybody who comes in here is amazed when they're told that those white seats are where Hondo launched some of his shots.
They're really amazed after they take batting practice here. And then they look up there because no one really hits it in the upper deck, even in batting practice.
Jamie Carroll at first base. Nobody out.
I mean, you always talk about how big Frank Howard was, but unless you met him, you didn't really. He was just one of the biggest people I've ever met, just as far as strength, and not only, you know, 6'8".
Activity in the bullpen. Brad Thompson heating up. Cal Eldred has thrown 46 pitches so far. Wouldn't think he'd go too deep in the game.
Eldred coming out of the pen, probably if he gets in any trouble, he'll be out of the game, but maybe 4 or 5 innings.
Jamie Carroll is running, and Nick Johnson sends a high foul ball down the right field line and into the first row seats.
I think if you asked Tony La Russa before the game if I could get 3 or 4 scoreless innings from Cal Eldred, he'd be very happy. Johnson trying to change that.
Well, the way the Nationals are hitting, it just doesn't seem to matter who's pitching, whether it's Roger Clemens or Cal Eldred. They're just not hitting. The thing about baseball is, too, when you're not getting hits, it appears like nothing is happening because nobody's running around the bases, nobody's scoring, and sometimes that's perceived as a lack of aggressiveness or intensity, but it's not. It's just not hitting.
Not getting the base hits.
Happening. They played a very good game in the first game of the series, but then got stopped cold by Jason Marquis yesterday on 2 hits. 2-2 to Nick Johnson. Base hit. And Nick goes to the opposite field. Back-to-back singles by Carroll and Johnson. First 2 hits for the Nationals.
Well, breaking ball back door by Cal Eldred, just hangs on the outside part of the plate. Nick Johnson, who in the first half did that a lot to take that breaking pitch and hit it the other way, gets that base hit to left field.
Jose Guillen up with nobody out, runners at first and second. He grounded to short his first time up, and Yadier Molina goes out to talk with Cal Eldred. Maybe just buying some more time for Brad Thompson to get warm in the bullpen. And Dave Duncan is coming out. They're going to make a pitching change. So Eldred gives up back-to-back hits to Jamie Carroll and Nick Johnson, and he's gone. Brad Thompson on his way in from the bullpen as the Nationals are threatening with nobody out in the fourth. Cal Eldred, emergency starter for Mark Mulder, leaves after giving up 2 hits. Let's find out the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Which pitcher holds the franchise record for saves in a career? I'm going to say Jeff Reardon. That would be right.
Massachusetts native Jeff Reardon. Pittsfield, Mass.
Brad Thompson takes over with runners at first and second. Nobody out, facing Jose Guillen. Strike one. Thompson worked 1 scoreless inning in Friday's game. He's retired the last 10 batters he's faced.
Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan have been very happy with the youngster Brad Thompson this year. One of those pitchers comes in and throws strikes, really belies his age, only 23 years old. But
Jose Guillen with a rare bunt. Thompson throws to second base in time. I wonder if he was bunting on his own. I got to think so. I mean, he's been the hottest hitter on this team. Rather surprising he'd be bunting. Nick Johnson is forced at second base. Carroll moves to third. Guillen reaches on a fielder's choice.
Well, we see the bunt just right back to the pitcher Thompson. Alert play and throwing this to Grzelcyk at second base. Guillen tried to push this towards first base, couldn't. Pitcher made the play, and the double play is still in order.
Jamie Carroll at third base, Guillen at first. There's an old saying in baseball: bunters bunt, hitters hit. You have to wonder when your best hitter's up there bunting.
Well, I would assume
pitch in the dirt.
I would assume he's bunting on his own there, and I'm sure after some of the comments from Frank Robinson yesterday, where he said he was hoping that his team would go deeper into the counts, make something happen, maybe lay a bunt down here or there, but that's certainly not where he would want the bunt to be.
Outside for a ball. Preston Wilson has grounded into 15 double plays this year. Vinny Castilla 16. Christian Guzman 12. You get the idea. Hit hard. Force play at second. They turn the double play. 6-4-3. Preston Wilson grounds into a double play for the 16th time. Still no score. Was able to get Preston Wilson to ground into an inning-ending double play and a hard slide into second base by Jose Guillen. He may be shaken up.
Well, he came right across that bag. You can see the hard ground ball hidden by Preston Wilson. Fumbled a little bit by David Eckstein, but finally gets the ball to Grzelcyk, who stays in there and takes on the hard slide of Jose Guillen. Gets upended. You have to stay in there, though. That's make that double play. Your pitcher doesn't give up a run. Guillen's supposed to come in there hard to try to break it up.
I think maybe he got the worst of that.
I think he did.
Deal, though. Slow curve is inside to Mark Grzelcyk, who flied to right his first time up. Cal Eldred worked 3 innings plus 2 batters in the fourth. He gave up 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Foul ball, 1-2 to Mark Redbirds, who in 1997 tied a major league record for doubles by a shortstop. He had 54, equaling A-Rod's mark set in 1996. Redbirds was playing for the Expos at the time. Good solid hitter. There's a lot of doubles, hits the balls in the gaps.
Oh, and as we saw last inning, does those little things like stays in at second base and takes that beating to complete the double play.
Verzolanik in his first year with the Cardinals, with the Cubs the last 2 years, hit over 300 both years, 314 2 years ago and 307 last season. Fooled on a changeup, he pops it up. Christian Guzman has it for the first out. So the Nationals are back at RFK for a 3-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies beginning Friday, September the 2nd. Great seats are available, and you can call 202-397-SEAT or visit Nationals.com. Third baseman Abraham Nunez up for the second time. He grounded out to short his first time up. John Halama doing an excellent job in his first start for the Nationals. Curveball swung on and missed. He's given up just 2 hits. A little bit low, 1-1 to Nunez. Halama misses, trying to backdoor a curveball. Nunez in his first year with the Cardinals. Last year hit .236 with Pittsburgh. Hold to the shortstop, Christian Guzman. Well, John Halama's only thrown 53 pitches. He's making these hitters swing the bat and using his defense. Doing a nice job.
Using their lack of patience, the Cardinal hitters, against them. 2-1 count there. That ball's down to Nunez, but that's what Halama tries to do. Just make sure he pitches around the strike zone. Will throw a lot of change-ups or curveballs first pitch, and when he gets ahead in the count, then he'll sink that fastball.
Hector Luna, who has 1 of the 2 hits up, takes a strike. Fastball in there.
We talked about it before. Halama is an accomplished pitcher. He's won 14 games in a season. Was on the Topps all-rookie team in 1999. Has pitched in postseason games.
Change-up, got it. Another good inning for John Halama. Still no score from RFK Stadium. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. John Halama doing an excellent job. 5 shutout innings in his first start for the Nationals. Nationals currently 2.5 games out of the wild card spot, but it's still anybody's horse race. The Phillies with a half-game lead on the Marlins. The Astros and Mets are just a game and a half out.
Well, the rest of the teams seem to be playing better than the Nationals. Nationals really treading water, so they're going to have to kick it in gear this afternoon against the Cardinals, and also with that important 4-game series in Atlanta.
John Halama working on a 2-hit shutout. Vinny Castilla will lead off the bottom of the 5th against Brad Thompson in relief of Cal Eldred. Fastball inside. Fly ball to left field. Taguchi back to make the catch. Taguchi would be a starter for a lot of teams, but because the outfield is so deep in St. Louis, he's been a backup player, but he's a good hitter, outstanding defensively, has good speed. Hector Carrasco up in the bullpen, so that might be all for Halama.
Carrasco pitched yesterday, but also just getting loose in case maybe the Nationals put some people on base, and John Halama, who would be the third hitter after Gary Bennett.
Gary Bennett takes a strike. The Nationals' 2 hits came consecutively in the 4th. Jamie Carroll led off with a single. Nick Johnson singled, and Thompson came in. Jose Guillen, for some reason, tried to lay down a bunt. They were able to get the force at second. Then Preston Wilson came up with runners at first and third and grounded into a double play to end the inning. That's as close as the Nationals have come to a run. Eckstein to his left. And he makes the play. He does not have a very strong throwing arm, but he gets rid of the ball quickly.
He gets rid of the ball quickly and also gets his feet in position to throw as he's fielding the ground ball. If you watch him, big bounce, he will get his feet turned and ready to go in one hop. Took a little more time there, of course, because Gary Bennett, the catcher, running, but you can tell by that throw, as you said, Mel, that it's not like he can hang close on that throw. He kind of lobs it over, not lobs it over there, but it has a little arc on it.
Christian Guzman up for the second time, hit the ball hard his first time up. Hit it back through the mound, deflected off Cal Eldred's shoulder to Eckstein, who threw him out. One ball, one strike. They talk about tools players, guys who have speed, arm, power, whatever. David Eckstein is not a tools player. He's a self-made player. A guy who's always been too short, not strong enough. Had to walk on in college to make the team. A guy very much like Jamie Carroll, just getting every inch of ability out of themselves. By Mickey Hatcher, the hitting coach in Anaheim when Eckstein played there, called Eckstein, his nickname was Just Enough, because he had just enough pop on his bat to hit the ball into the first row of seats. But you have to love players like Eckstein and Jamie Carroll. Give it their all every game.
Well, the kind of players that if you put them in a computer, you wouldn't come out with a Major League Baseball player. I know at the end of my career with the A's in spring training, had a computer set up that was charting all your pitches, and Dave Henderson, the left fielder, told me, don't pay attention to that. They'll release you.
Chopper. Oh, a collision. Diaz colliding with Greg Zelanik. And Guzman is safe. That'll be a base hit for Christian. The third Nationals hit.
Well, Christian Guzman had a bad break in his first at bat when he lined a one hopper off Cal Eldred, the pitcher, the starting pitcher for the Cardinals, and ended up going to Eckstein. But this time Diaz kind of, the mistake that Diaz makes here, he's a catcher playing first base, is that he goes too far to get this ball. This literally was a very easy play for Guzman to make, just a one hopper. He would have made the play to first base, but Diaz, who doesn't play there very often, drifting way too far off the bag.
And apparently John Halama is going to pitch another inning because he's up there to hit. Halama struck out his first time up. It's only his second at bat of the season.
Well, Loaiza on Friday night was able to help himself with a base hit up the middle to drive in a run.
Halama's only 2 for 23 in his career. Lines this one foul. Last year he had only 3 at-bats, was hitless all year. Never had more than 10 at-bats in a season. No home runs, 1 double. High chopper. Grzelcyk to first in time. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 5 innings, the Cardinals and Nationals are still scoreless. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. No score. The Cardinals with just 2 hits. The Nationals have only 3. Hector Luna has 1 hit so far. He had a single off John Halama in the 3rd inning. Albert Pujols also had a single in the 1st, then got picked off and got into an argument with the umpires and got thrown out. That's been it. Not much offense today. The pitcher Brad Thompson will lead off in the 6th against John Halama. The Cardinals with the best record in baseball, 82-48. And the Nationals will face the Braves coming up beginning tomorrow. They've got the 4th best record in the league, or in baseball, at 74-56. White Sox having a terrific year.
Well, Tony La Russa sending up the pitcher Brad Thompson, trying to piecemeal this game together, almost like a spring training game where Cal Eldred, a reliever, had to get a spot start for Mark Mulder and ended up going three innings. Thompson coming on and pitching the last 2.
Thompson is 1 for 4 this year. John Halama has retired 7 straight hitters since David Eckstein reached on an error in the 3rd. Oh, and 1. Off-speed pitch misses. 1-1. John Halama's thrown 40 strikes, 19 balls so far, only 59 pitches. Fastball is fouled off.
Randy St. Clair, the pitch coach for the Nationals. He's got to be happy with the work done so far by John Halama.
Curveball misses. 2-2.
Watching Halama with his work in relief and his work here as a starter, I think he's going to earn another chance to go out there on the mound, start another game for the Nationals.
Struck him out. 3rd strikeout for Halama. And David Eckstein coming up as we look at the Toyota League leaders. Best hitters in the National League with runners in scoring position. Juan Encarnacion of Florida leads the league. David Eckstein, though, is 5th, hitting .350. Eckstein today has lined to 3rd and reached on an error by Vinny Casillas last time up.
No, we didn't do the game yesterday. I was watching, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone square around a bunt, fake a bunt, and then hit it for a home run. I've seen base hits when you fake the bunt.
Curveball is in there for a strike. Eckstein's brother Rick is a minor league hitting instructor in the Nationals organization. He was a bullpen coach at one time for the Minnesota Twins and then later an instructor in their system. Eckstein bluffs a bunt, takes a ball. 1-1. Castilla playing in. Eckstein is an excellent bunter. A smash just foul.
Well, yesterday's game, fake bunt, and I'll just proceed to hit it over the left field wall. Very rare. Marlon Byrd making an attempt. Couldn't get there. Eckstein just missing a double down the left field line. Castilla to play him in. Hector Carrasco again up in the bullpen.
Halama's longest outing in relief for the Nationals has been 4 innings. He's still going strong here in the 6th with 1 out. Clip foul by David Eckstein. In 2001, John Halama pitched the first 9-inning perfect game in the history of the Pacific Coast League. He struck out 9 Calgary Cannons, got 7 fly ball outs and 11 ground ball outs. There were some other perfect games before in the league, but they were 7 innings. Just outside. Halama at the time was pitching for Tacoma, the Mariners AAA team. A well-hit ball to left field. Brad Wilkerson can't get it. It's over his head. Eckstein into second base with a double. It's only the 3rd hit for the Cardinals, and the first extra base hit.
20th double this year for David Eckstein. It's almost like he fakes the bunt, pull you in. Outfield might come in a little bit because he doesn't have a lot of power. And he just hits it over your head. Wilkerson looked like for a while he had a chance on that ball, but it kept carrying. Easy double for David Eckstein.
Jim Edmonds up with 1 out. Edmonds has been very quiet in the series, 0 for 2 today and 1 for 9 in this 3-game series. Edmonds, with runners in scoring position this year, is hitting .305. Ball 1.
Saw by those numbers, Edmonds always a dangerous hitter with runners in scoring position.
Curveball for a strike, 1-1. Edmonds made the All-Star team again this year. His 4th selection. 3rd time as a starter. Grounded foul. 1-2 to Jim Edmonds. John Halama giving this pitching staff a shot in the arm, working into the 6th. Halama, who grew up in Brooklyn, he was a fan of the New York Mets. Never even went to Yankee Stadium until he actually played there with Seattle. Halama said that he's not really a baseball fan, not really a sports fan. He doesn't read the sports pages, doesn't watch ESPN. Jeff Kent said something along those lines too. Eckstein dancing around at second base, getting Halama's attention.
Well, if Halama gets out of the 6th inning, he'll watch ESPN tomorrow, I'll tell you that. Good effort.
Halama, who was originally signed by the Astros, traded to Seattle in the deal that sent Randy Johnson to Houston in 1998. Curveball sweeps outside, 2-2.
Pitcher like John Halama, he is not going to allow Jim Edmonds to hit his fastball. So what he'll do is, see Gary Bennett setting up way outside, he'll just really pitch around the strike zone with his fastball, trying to set up his changeup or breaking ball to try to get Edmonds out.
Three and 2. First base is open, but Albert Pujols is not on deck. He would have been, but he got thrown out of the game in the 1st inning. So it's Einer Diaz. Not quite the same.
Good point, Mel. Do not want to let Jim Edmonds beat you in this situation. Both teams struggling to score any runs. 0-0 in the 6th. I'll take my chances with Diaz over Edmonds.
You bet. And he walked it. So Halama pitching around Jim Edmonds, and that may be all for him. It will be. But what a job he did. That's the first walk he's given up in his first start of the year, and you can bet it's not going to be his last the way he pitched. Couldn't ask for more than he gave this team. Hector Carrasco on his way in from the bullpen. So John Halama going 5 1/3 innings, giving up no runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Fine outing by the veteran left-hander. Well, John Halama had 4 great outings in relief, total of 7 scoreless innings. Today getting a start, and he pitched a shutout ball for 5 1/3. Can't ask for much more than that.
Leaves a couple of runners on for Hector Carrasco, but just an excellent job. One of the reasons it has been 5 1/3 scoreless innings is out of the 20 batters he faced, 15 first pitch strikes.
And Hector Carrasco on to pitch. He'll face a pinch hitter, John Rodriguez, who will pinch hit for Einer Diaz.
Hector Carrasco in his 52nd game. Carrasco has done a good job for Frank Robinson and the Nationals. Really has made some fine adjustments even within the course of this season after coming up from AAA. Developed a wicked changeup that he's used against left-handed hitters for his strikeout pitch.
John Rodriguez 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter this year, coming up for Einer Diaz. Hitting .284, 4 homers, 16 runs batted in. He was hitting .342 at AAA Memphis when he was called up. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Ball 1 to the pinch hitter, Rodriguez. And Carrasco falls behind 2-0 on Rodriguez. When the Cardinals brought him up this year, Tony La Russa said that whenever I've seen John going back to his first hit, he takes a serious at bat. He's got a lot of confidence as a hitter. He has a good idea of what he's doing up there. And he's worked the count in his favor to 2-0. David Eckstein at second base. Jim Edmonds at first. Ball 3, 3-0.
Well, John Rodriguez very fidgety in that batter's box, a little like Nomar Garciaparra, just moving those feet back and forth, trying to get some timing. Hitters all do different things to try to get that timing. Rodriguez with the feet moving.
Carrasco with a move to second, sending Eckstein back. He takes a strike, 3-1.
Well, Carrasco doesn't think that Rodriguez is swinging on 3-0, throws it right down the middle. Rodriguez takes it.
Rodriguez was signed by the Yankees out of a tryout camp. He was not drafted out of high school. Change up, swung on and missed, 3-2. It's been a good pitch for Carrasco.
Good changeup. When you throw a changeup 3-1, that allows you to do a few things. You can come back with that changeup. You can maybe throw a fastball inside, try to paint Rodriguez for a strikeout.
David Eckstein is at second base. Jim Edmonds at first. The runners stay put, and that's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Bases loaded, 1 out with Yadier Molina coming up. Molina this year is 1 for 4 with the bases loaded. Today he's grounded to short and flied to right. Fastball for a strike. Molina is hitless in the series so far. He's 0 for 9, although he has hit several balls hard. Flied to deep right the last time he was up there. Just missed. David Eckstein is at third base. Jim Edmonds at second. John Rodriguez at first. Molina in his career 4 for 9 with the bases loaded. Slider misses, 2-1. Well, there's usually one pivotal situation in the game, and this is probably it right here. No score, bases loaded. Fouled back 2-2 to Yadier Molina. Gary Majeski throwing in the bullpen for the Nationals. Ground ball slowly hit to short. Guzman to second. Jamie Carroll's throw not in time. He got buried at second base by Rodriguez. The Cardinals take the lead. Rodriguez comes away limping, but he really slid hard into Jamie. Eckstein is in to score as the Cardinals take the lead.
Well, some of the play that Guillen tried to get the second baseman for the Cardinals. Rodriguez coming in hard to Jamie Carroll, not able to make that throw to first. It's going to be a very close play anyway with the catcher Molina running, and Carroll could not finish up that double play.
Eckstein across for the only run in this game so far. 1-0 St. Louis. Molina reaches on a fielder's choice and gets credit for a run batted in. Edmonds goes to third. Rodriguez is forced at second for the second out. And here's So Taguchi, who's grounded to first and flied to right. Popped up down the right field line. And a fan committing an error. The run is charged to John Halama in 5 1/3 innings. Gave up just 1 run. But the way the Nationals are struggling to score right now, that 1 run might be enough. Nationals have not scored since the 5th inning of Friday night's game. There goes a runner on a delayed steal. Here comes a runner for the plate. Edmonds slides in safely. Ball gets by Gary Bennett. Molina will go to third. Well, the Cardinals pull off a double steal. Edmonds may be hurt. So it's a double steal and an error charged to Jamie Carroll on a throw to the plate, allowing Molina to go to third. So Molina picks up a stolen base, as does Jim Edmonds. 2-0 Cardinals. Barry Weinberg, the trainer, out to see if Edmonds is okay.
Well, the Cardinals really just caught the Nationals napping. Gary Bennett with this throw to second. The first look for a catcher when it's first and third, your first look has to be at the runner at third base first before you throw that ball to second base. He threw it. Jamie Carroll had no time. Ended up being an error for Carroll because Molina advanced to third base. But as a catcher, you're taught your first move is to look that guy back at third, make sure he's not coming. And Edmonds did get a quick start there at third base. Edmonds coming into Bennett at home. I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow Edmonds got hurt on that play.
Cardinals have taken a 2-0 lead. Molina now at third base with 2 outs. And the 1-1 pitch coming up to Taguchi. Knocked down by Carrasco. The throw not in time. The Cardinals score another run. Molina's in to score, and it's 3-0. It'll be scored as a base hit and a run batted in for So Taguchi.
Well, just a crazy inning for the Nationals. So Taguchi gets his slider on the outside part, hits it off Carrasco. Carrasco couldn't make a play at first base. Taguchi with that good speed easily beat it. You see, goes to his right, comes up, makes a good throw, but by that time Taguchi is through first base for the base hit.
Of the 3 runs scored in the inning, 2 are charged to John Halama, and the 3rd run charged to Carrasco. Mark Grudzielanek has flied to right, popped to short. Taguchi at first runs very well. Frank Robinson wondering where the runs have gone. When you're not hitting like the Nationals aren't right now, and it's 3-0 in favor of your opponent, looks like it's 9-0. Taguchi starts to go but stops, and the pitch is a strike.
Well, key play in this inning is Yadier Molina hit a ball that should have been a double play or could have been a double play, and John Rodriguez with that hard slide into Carroll. Jamie couldn't make that throw to first. Carroll's behalf, he stood in there as long as he could. It was not a sharp hit ball by Molina.
Well, the Nationals squandering a good performance by John Halama, who left with the score tied 0-0, but he's charged with 2 runs, 5 of the 3rd innings. Taguchi is running. Bouncer to third. Benny Castillo over to first. That's all for the Cardinals, but they pick up 3 runs. St. Louis 3, Washington 0. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. Mel Proctor with Ron Darling. The final game of this homestand. The Cardinals lead 3-0. Jamie Carroll has 1 hit in 2 at-bats. Nick Johnson has 1. Christian Guzman 1. That's been it. Only 3 hits. Scott Seabold goes in to play first base. He replaces Jim Edmonds. So Taguchi moves from left field to center field. And John Rodriguez stays in the game in left. Edmonds was shaken up at home on that double steal. And Taguchi now in center. Brad Wilkerson takes a strike, leading off the 6th inning. Facing Brad Thompson in relief of Cal Eldred. John Rodriguez in left. Good changeup. 0-2. Wilkerson has popped to second and flying to left. Change up in the dirt. 1-2.
Well, enough can't be said about Brad Thompson, the job he's done coming in for Cal Eldred.
Eldred making his first start of the year in place of the injured Mark Mulder, who was out with a stiff neck, and pitched shutout ball for 3 innings, then gave up back-to-back hits in the 4th and was taken out. Thompson has given up just 1 hit since he's been in there. Hard ground ball, foul. Thompson, a 16th round draft pick of the Cardinals out of Dixie Junior College in Utah in 2002. He's only 23. Thompson may be only 23, but he pitches like a veteran. Changes speeds very well, uses both sides of the plate. Fastball down and in. 3-2.
Knows his strengths too. He just keeps pounding that sinker. Got a real good one and just keeps pounding it in there. A lot like Marquis did yesterday.
Foul ball. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Cardinals. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Nationals. Big bouncer to the first baseman, Seaball. He makes the unassisted play. And that'll bring up Jamie Carroll, who has one of the 3 Nationals hits. Well, you look back to missed opportunities. Carroll led off the 4th inning with a single. Nick Johnson's single. Jose Guillen, the cleanup hitter, comes up. And for some reason, got to assume that only he decided to do it on his own, tried to lay down a bunt. They were able to get the force play at second base. That left runners at first and third. Then Preston Wilson came up and grounded into a double play to end the inning. That's as close as they've come to a run. Sure, only Guillen knows why he was bunting. Line foul. 0-2 to Jamie.
Well, the difference in the game is the Cardinals' ability to turn a double play, and the Nationals' inability to turn one.
Ground ball slowly hit to David Eckstein. Puts a little extra on the throw to give Carroll, who runs well. Nick Johnson is 1 for 2. He lined out to the center fielder in the first inning, hit the ball hard, and then singled in the 4th. Strike 1. Brad Thompson with a good 2-seam sinker, got a slider and a changeup that he changed his grip on in the Arizona Fall League before last year. It's really been a very good pitch for him. There it is.
Right on cue.
April and May last year, while pitching for the Tennessee Smokies in the Southern League, Thompson fell just 2 innings short of breaking a minor league record that lasted for almost a century. Comebacker. He throws out Nick Johnson. He had a consecutive scoreless inning streak of 57 2/3 last year before he finally gave up a run. And he slammed the door today. The Cardinals Nationals were in a scoreless battle until the top of the 6th, and things came apart for the Nationals.
Well, John Halama, who pitched very well for the Nationals, was touched in the 6th inning by this double from David Eckstein over the head of Brad Wilkerson. Now with the bases loaded, this soft ground ball from Yadier Molina could not turn 2. Would have been tough to turn 2, but could not turn it because of the slide by Johnny Rodriguez. And then with 1st and 3rd, the Cardinals pulled off the double steal. Edmonds scoring the 3rd run. 3-0. Cardinals over the Nationals.
Gary Majeski in to pitch for the Nationals. Abraham Nunez fouls off the first pitch. Hector Carrasco worked 2/3 of an inning, giving up 1 run on 1 hit and 1 walk. The run was unearned. Atlanta leads Milwaukee 3-1 in the 4th inning. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are tied 1-1 in the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Cubs lead Florida 1-0 in the 4th. Two and 1 to Nunez. Fastball too low. 3-1. Julian Tavares up in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Majeski in with a strike. 3-2. Struck him out. So why not spend Labor Day here at RFK Stadium? The Nationals take on the Marlins at 1:05 p.m. And for tickets, call 202-397-SEAT or go to nationals.com. Well, Jason Marquis is on deck. He is a pitcher and a very good hitter. Pitcher spot is due up next, so he would bat for Brad Thompson. Hector Luna takes a strike. Slider low and away. Marquis is hitting .361 with a home run and 10 RBIs. That's why he's going to pinch hit. Slider misses low. 2-1. A good matchup in Los Angeles. Roger Clemens against Jeff Weaver. Philadelphia plays at Arizona tonight. Vicente Padilla will pitch for the Phillies. Claudio Vargas, the former National, will pitch for Arizona. Chopper foul off third base. And the Mets are in San Francisco. Chris Benson, who got rocked his last start against the Nationals, will be on the mound for the Mets.
Only went 2/3 of an inning in that game. 7 straight hits, 6 runs.
Strike 3. Luna's called out on strikes.
Well, coming inside is Gary Majeski with this fastball. Runs up and in on Luna. Gary Darling, the home plate umpire, calls it a strike. Luna not happy with that call.
And Jason Marquis pinch hitting. Marquis is a pinch hitter, 3 for 6. Overall, he's 26 for 72, hitting .361 with a homer, 8 doubles, and 1 triple. So he can swing the bat. Pulls this one foul and broke his bat. Who's the best hitting pitcher you've seen?
You know who was one of the best hitting pitchers was Rick Rhoden and Don Robinson. When they both were with the Pirates, when they would make a start, literally we would talk about them in the meeting and how to get them out. That's how good they were.
Foul back. He just looks like a hitter.
He does.
Fastball is high, 1-2.
Never faced him, but a lot of people said George Brett's brother, Ken Brett was one of the best hitting pitchers. The Kemmer.
Yeah, the late Ken Brett unfortunately passed away a year or so ago. Gary Majeski strikes out the side, getting Nunez, Luna, and Marquis. The Nationals need to find some runs somewhere. It's 3-0 Cardinals. RFK Stadium, the Cardinals leading 3-0. A bright spot, though, the pitching of Gary Majeski, who came in the 7th and struck out the side.
Well, after John Halama had a good start, Majeski came in after Carrasco. Had a fine 7th inning, retiring Nunez on this fastball up and away. Up and into Luna for the call, 3rd strike. And then pitcher Jason Marquis getting a pinch hit try, sitting down against Majeski.
Well, the Nationals have now gone 18 2/3 innings since their last run. Unbelievable. Julian Tavares is in to pitch. Jose Guillen will lead off for the Nationals. It was Guillen who tried to bunt with runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out in the 4th inning. That misfired. They were able to get the force play at second base, and Preston Wilson grounded into a double play.
Yeah, just the breaks aren't going the Nationals' way. They're trying to make things happen. I guess Jose Guillen was trying to do that. But you want your 4th place hitter usually to be up there to try to hit a double, try to get some extra base hits.
But 18 2/3 innings without a run. Tavares in to pitch, veteran right-hander. Brad Thompson did a good job. He pitched 2 2/3 innings of shutout relief, giving up just 1 hit, no walks and no strikeouts. Mike Stanton up in the Nationals bullpen. Well, Tony La Russa piecing things together. Cal Eldred made his first start since April of 2001. He gave up 2 hits in the 4th and was taken out. Thompson came in and slammed the door the rest of the way. And now Tavares. Strike 1.
Well, like any good team, once you get later in the game, you're running out of outs because you've got to find closer for St. Louis, Jason Isringhausen.
Jose Guillen is 1 for 9 off Tavares with a home run. A little chin music. Earlier in the game, Guillen slid hard into the second baseman, Mark Grudzielanek, at second base. I don't know if the Cardinals interpret that as being a dirty play or not, but he really upended him. Fouled back. And speaking of that, the Nationals will be heading for Atlanta to begin a 4-game series tomorrow. You recall the last time these teams got together, Jose Guillen slid hard into Chipper Jones at 3rd. They exchanged words through the media after the game. Guillen got up, had a Chipper on the back, but as Chipper was walking out to his position, he noticed that he had air conditioning. His pants were split open. He'd been spiked. So something might happen in that series. 2-2 to Jose Guillen.
Talking about that slide by Jose Guillen in the 4th. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Wilson hit that ground ball. I think that's a play that fair game in baseball. They're trying to turn that double play. You're trying to. You already just mentioned, Mel, they haven't scored in 18 2/3 innings. Trying to do something to get a run across. That was a good hard slide. Frank Robinson probably had some good hard slides in his day also.
Time called, no pitch. And Molina goes out to talk with Tavares. Well, we don't know what Tony La Russa thought of that slide, though.
Played for him. I think he would think that's a good baseball play. If you remember, David Eckstein kind of fumbled the ball a little bit, which really put that slide even worse into play. Gutsalanic not having a chance to get out of the way.
Slider outside, 3-2.
Let's just say it this way. If I'm pitching and it's first and third and my team is trying to score a run and my guy takes out the second baseman, I think it's a good play. He's trying to get a run.
Oh, wow. Oh. That's the first one into our booth. You throw a strike or a ball?
That was a ball again.
It got in here quickly, didn't it? That's the first one we've had this year.
Hit the microphone.
Pulled foul by Jose Guillen, who may have hurt himself on that swing.
Well, Tavares, who has a good sinker, throwing this down and in. Looks like Guillen might have fouled that off his front knee. Off his shin, even worse.
Another foul ball. He's up there battling. Nine pitches thrown so far from Tavares to Jose Guillen. Chopper to third. Nunez over the first. And Tavares wins the battle finally.
And Tavares didn't change his game plan. He just kept pounding that sinker down and in.
Preston Wilson 0 for 2 has struck out, grounded into a double play. He's 4 for 12 with a home run off Julian Tavares. Tavares first came up years ago as a very young pitcher with the Cleveland Indians. Over the years, he's been a starter, he's been a middle reliever, he's been a closer. Fouled back, 1-1. Tavares third on the active list for winning percentage among relief pitchers. Way inside, almost hit it. Tavares has hit quite a few batters over the years. He's touched off a few bench clearing brawls. In regard to somewhat of a headhunter, he's hit 7 this year. Popped up off first base. Two balls and 2 strikes to Preston Wilson. Vinny Castilla's on deck. Nationals had just 2 hits yesterday, only 3 today. Slider misses. 3-2. It appeared that the Nationals got their offense on track on the last road trip when they hit 15 home runs. But now they've hit the slump collectively again. Wilson strikes out. That brings up Vinny Castillo.
Flores has been this kind of pitcher for a long time. Sinker inside and then slider away. Pretty straightforward when you face him. You know what you're going to get, but his stuff is good, and he does have a lot of movement on it, especially on his fastball.
Vinny Castillo has walked and flied to left. A well-hit ball to left field. Well caught. John Rodriguez puts it away. One of the hardest balls have been hit, but still the Nationals have just 3 hits and no runs. 3-0 Cardinals. They go to the 8th inning with the Cardinals leading 3-0. Say there'll be big game fishing here at RFK on September 5th through the 8th. The Nationals play the Florida Marlins in a 4-game series. And for tickets, call 202-397-SEAT or go to nationals.com. Mike Stanton is in to pitch in the 8th. Gary Majeski pitched 1 inning and struck out the side. Stanton will face the top of the order: David Eckstein, Jim Edmonds, and John Rodriguez. Al Reyes up in the bullpen for the Cardinals. David Eckstein will lead off. Scott Seabold will be up second. He replaced the injured Jim Edmonds, who was hurt himself sliding home as part of a double steal. Eckstein started a rally in the 6th with a double. The Cardinals went on to score 3 runs. Strike 1 from Mike Stanton. He's also reached on an error and lined to third. A little bit outside.
See Eckstein surveying the down the third base line, seeing where Castillo's playing, thinking maybe might bunt.
And maybe might hit one out of the park. Deep to left field, way back there off the fence. Another double for Eckstein.
Well, Eckstein has his prints all over this game. With 1 out in the 6th, got that double, and here now in the 8th, leading off. Hits one off the left field wall. Brad Wilson, of course, playing him shallow. Eckstein usually doesn't have a lot of power, but has showed some in this series.
And Mike Stanton not too happy about giving up the double. Scott Seabold up for the first time. Seabold hitting .209 with 1 homer, 10 runs batted in. He pops up a bunt. Stanton catches it. That'll bring up John Rodriguez. Rodriguez pinch hit in the 6th and walked, then stayed in the game to play left field. That spot originally belonged to Albert Pujols, who singled in the 1st inning with 2 outs. Was thrown out on a play at second base. He got picked off, was thrown out at second. Got into an argument with the umpires and got thrown out of the game. Einer Diaz went in to play first base, and then Rodriguez pinch hit for him in the 6th. Slow curve misses, ball 1. Well, Mike Stanton will go back to face his former team, the Atlanta Braves, on this upcoming road trip. He first came up with the Braves in 1989. David Eckstein at second base, 1 out. And a move to second sends Eckstein back. Well, the Nationals have not been shut out in back-to-back games this year, but yesterday they were blanked on 2 hits by Jason Marquis, and they're scoreless so far in the 8th inning today. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. Mike Stanton, one of the reasons he was picked up is because the team needed a left-hander, but also because of his wealth of postseason experience, hoping that this team would get into postseason play. His 20 World Series appearances are second only to Whitey Ford. There goes Eckstein trying to steal third. Base hit. Now he can jog home. 4-0 Cardinals. Eckstein running on the pitch. Rodriguez singles him in.
Well, Eckstein trying to get to third base with 1 out. Didn't have to, though. This line drive up the middle by John Rodriguez. Clean base hit. Eckstein in with the 4th run.
Yadier Molina up now. Molina's 0 for 3, but did pick up a run batted in, reaching on a fielder's choice in the 6th. He lines a shot to left. It's a base hit. Ball got to Brad Wilkerson so quickly, I don't think he could decide whether to come in or dive or whatever he was going to do. Ball was ripped.
The ball was smoked, and Wilkerson did try to come in on it and make the play, but had a lot of topspin. See how it just goes straight down, and good job by Wilkerson just to keep it in front of him.
That is Molina's first hit in the series. And the newest member of the Nationals about to make his debut,
Jason Bergman.
He would be the 50th player used by the Nationals. This would be as a team record, and it's most players used in the major leagues by any team this year. So Taguchi up with 1 out, runners at first and second. Taguchi singled in a run in the 6th. I guess actually Bergman would be the 51st. Rick White pitched yesterday. He's the 50th. He's already been sent down. Didn't even get to say hello. Mike Stanton has given up a run on 3 hits so far. Called strike, 1-1. John Rodriguez at second base. Yadier Molina at first. A little low, 2-1. On the corner, 2-2. Breaking ball just missed. 3-2. The runners are going. Taguchi strikes out, throw to third. Safe. It's a double steal. Rodriguez steals third, and Molina takes second.
We see the runners going. Good changeup from Mike Stanton, but Gary Bennett makes that throw to third. Just getting underneath the tag is John Rodriguez, who got a good jump off second base.
Mark Grudzielanek will be walked intentionally. And that'll bring up Abraham Nunez. Grudzielanek playing his first game of the series. Been out for 7 games with an infected knee. And looks like we're going to get a pitching change. Well, Frank Robinson will go to his bullpen one more time to bring in Jason Bergman. We'll be back with the Cardinals leading 4-0. Welcome back. Cardinals leading 4-0. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Washington Nationals. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Nationals. What a way to make your major league debut. Jason Bergman coming in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 23-year-old right-hander was 5-2 with 7 saves, pitching for both AA Harrisburg and AAA New Orleans. Takes over with the bases loaded, facing the switch hitting Abraham Nunez. Bergman, an 11th round draft pick of the Montreal Expos in 2002 out of Rutgers University. Fastball is high. Matt White, who started yesterday's game, was sent back to AAA, and Bergman was brought up, the 51st player used by the Nationals this year. Change up high, 2-0, and no place to put him.
Bergman does throw hard, throws between 90 and 93 miles an hour on his fastball. His breaking pitch is more of a slurve.
Popped up, shallow right center field, falling fast, base hit. 2 more runs in. 6-0 Cardinals. Rodriguez and Molina come in to score on the bloop hit by Abraham Nunez. The runs charged to Mike Stanton.
Well, Nunez gets jammed on this 2-0 pitch from Bergman. Couldn't have thrown it out there any better, though. No play for Preston Wilson as he gets the ball in. So 2 more runs scored for the Cardinals. 6-0.
RBIs 38 and 39 for Abraham Nunez. He's at first. Mark Grudzielanek at third. Check swing. The pitch is outside to Hector Luna. Luna, the 8th hitter to come up in this inning. John Mabry is on deck. If the pitcher spot would come up, he would pinch hit. Popped up. And no play for Nick Johnson. Check swing comebacker to Bergman. He throws it low in the dirt and almost threw it away. Good pickup by Nick Johnson. The second 3-run inning for the Cardinals. They lead 6-0. Go back to RFK Stadium, the final game of this homestand. The Nationals, after today's game, will head to Atlanta to begin a 4-game series tomorrow at Turner Field. Bobby Cox doing one of his best jobs. His team's been hit hard with injuries. Andrew Jones carried him on his back for a good portion of the year. Chipper Jones missed a lot of games with injuries, but they've still got pitchers like John Smoltz. And they're in first place, and their fans love it. We'll have tomorrow night's game at 7:30 on Masson. Tuesday's game also at 7:30. Wednesday and Thursday as well. Wednesday's game at 7. Thursday's game at 7:30. And then back home to face the Phillies on Friday. Al Reyes is in to pitch.
See that opponent's batting average 174. Bullpen by committee for the Cardinals today. Cal Eldred getting the start out of the bullpen, went 3 innings. Thompson came in with 3. Taveras 1, and now to Reyes.
Ball 1 to Gary Bennett. John Mabry is in right field. Hector Luna is now at second base. Two and 0. Cardinals bullpen has worked 3 2/3 innings of shutout relief, and they've only given up 1 hit. It was an infield hit by Christmas Guzman in the 5th off of Brad Thompson. Julian Taveras retired to side in order in the 7th with 1 strikeout, and now Reyes is on. Chad Cordero throwing in the bullpen. Why is he throwing?
Maybe he needs some work today. Didn't throw yesterday. Threw on Friday night's ball game.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it, right?
It's the truth. That's what it is, brother.
Okay.
He's just getting some throwing. If you watch, he's not even really throwing. He's just standing out there, and he's getting a little loose just in case we have an explosion of runs here for the Nationals.
Big crowd here today, 41,130. Earlier on this homestand, the Nationals went over the 2 million mark in attendance. Grounded foul. Been a disappointing homestand so far. The Nationals lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds, and on the verge of losing 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. Bennett strikes out. Here's what the Nationals have left. 7 games left with the Braves, 7 with Florida, 6 with Philadelphia, and 6 with the Mets. And 3 games each with San Diego and San Francisco. Christian Guzman up. He has 1 of the 3 hits. Well, the Nationals, after today's game, will have 19 games left at home. That's most among the teams involved in the wild card race. But all of a sudden, that home field advantage doesn't exist anymore. Foul ball off Guzman's foot.
Guzman fouls that right off his instep, inside of his ankle.
Well, the Nationals will go to Atlanta to begin that series. 4-game set at Turner Field. Then they're back home for 3 against Philadelphia, 4 against Florida, and 3 against the Atlanta Braves. One and 2 to Christian Guzman. Hit hard, but right at David Eckstein. 2 outs. And the pitcher Jason Bergman will be coming up. His first major league at bat. Nationals have now gone 21 innings since their last run. They last scored in the 5th inning of Friday's game. Were shut out yesterday, shut out so far today. 0-2 to Bergman. Slider low, 1-2. The last Nationals hit was Christian Guzman's 2-out infield hit in the 5th. Ground ball gobbled up by the first baseman. And that's all for the Nationals as they go down in order. At the end of 8 innings, St. Louis 6, Washington nothing. Nationals are running out of outs. Jason Bergman beginning his 2nd inning of work. Nationals have now gone 21 2/3 innings since they've scored. John Mabry will lead off the 9th. The veteran Mabry this year hitting .261 with 7 homers and 30 runs batted in. Back where he began his career with the Cardinals. 0-1. Mabry, who can play the outfield or first base or third base. He's always been a real good hitter. Line drive hitter. Lots of doubles. 1-1. Check swing, foul ball. Mabry strikes out. First major league strikeout for Bergman.
Bergman, who began his career as a starter 2 years ago, put in the bullpen last year, trying to throw that slider down and in, kind of hangs on the outside part, but enough to fool John Mabry.
David Eckstein up for the 5th time. He's been on base 3 times, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, also reached on an error. It was Eckstein who started both of the 3-run innings. He led off this in the 6th with 1 out. He got us started with a double, and then in the 8th inning led off with a double.
Well, we've come to really appreciate him this series, but I bet you watching him day in and day out, really appreciate what he can do for your team.
Eckstein was originally signed by the Red Sox and was claimed on waivers by the Angels. That's hard to believe looking back on it. He was a walk-on at college, the University of Georgia. And he strikes out on the slider. The pitch, well, I thought it was in the dirt. Apparently not. Two down, and Scott Seabold coming up.
Well, good slider from Bergman, down and away, fooling Eckstein. Looked like he landed in the dirt, but apparently not.
Scott Seabold up, swinging at the first pitch. Sounded like he broke his bat, and he did. Cardinals hoping to get back to the World Series and do a little bit better than they did last year. Yeah, Walt Jocketty, who's the general manager of this St. Louis Cardinal team, has really done a good job. I mean, staying within a certain parameters in terms of payroll, and yet every year this team is competitive, even though they've had some turnover. Seems to go out and get key players down the stretch, like Larry Walker last year. Seabold strikes out. Well, Bergman strikes out the side. Bottom of the ninth coming up, 6-0 Cardinals. Ninth inning here at RFK Stadium with the St. Louis Cardinals leading 6-0. Mark Mulder, the Cardinals starter, unable to make the call today because of a stiff neck. So Cal Eldred made his first start of the year and his first start since 2001. And we've seen Brad Thompson, Julian Tavares, Al Reyes, and now Ray King. Nationals down their last three outs. Brad Wilkerson, Jamie Carroll, and Nick Johnson. Al Reyes worked one scoreless inning with one strikeout. And now King is in to pitch. He worked one scoreless inning in Friday's game. Brad Wilkerson 0 for 3 in the game. Nationals with 2 hits yesterday and no runs, 3 hits today and no runs. Ball 1.
Boy, what a pickup it is for your team when one of your best starters, Mark Mulder, can't make it 2 days in a row. And you get the effort from Jason Marquis yesterday, and today with this bullpen by committee not allowing any runs.
2-0 to Brad Wilkerson. Ray King, who usually comes in to face left-handed hitters. This is his 63rd appearance, tops on the team. Strike one, 2-1. Ground ball foul. .21 2/3 innings without a run. That's hard to believe, isn't it?
It really is.
It's not a drought. That's a famine. Plague. Base hit for Wilkerson, leading off the ninth. The first hit by the Nationals since the 5th inning. They have 4 hits total. Jamie Carroll, who has 1 of the 4 hits coming up.
Wilkerson able to hit this ball hard enough just to elude Seabold. So it goes into right field for a hit.
All 4 hits by the Nationals today are singles. King throws a fastball by Jamie Carroll.
Well, in yesterday's game, when they had 2 hits there, those 2 hits were singles also by Marlon Byrd and Christian Guzman.
Foul ball, 0-2 to Jamie Carroll. Brad Thompson worked 2 2/3 innings of shutout relief. Julian Tavares worked a scoreless 7th. Al Reyes a scoreless 8th, and now King is on the 9th. The bullpen has allowed no runs and only 2 hits. Fastball away, 1-2. Fastball too high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled back. Nationals offense really struggling. 8 hits in the first game, which they won. Only 2 yesterday against Jason Marquis, who pitched a shutout. Just 4 today. 14 hits total.
Yeah, those kind of numbers, you almost think back and go, lucky to have gotten a win in this series.
And that's low. Jamie Carroll, as he does so often, has worked the count from 0-2 to 3-2. Nationals have been outscored in this 3-game series. 16-4. I beg your pardon. 12-4. No, 13-4. There we go. Whatever. It's a lot of runs. Big differential. Jamie Carroll works King for a walk. Well, it's amazing how he can do that. He does that going from 0-2 to a walk better than anybody I think I've seen. Nick Johnson up with runners at first and second. Nobody out. Jason Isringhausen, the closer, begins to throw in the bullpen, and pitching coach Dave Duncan will come out to the mound.
Well, this is just to buy time. Get Isringhausen a little more chance to get warmed up. Ray King's got to know what he's got to do. This 6-0 lead, throw strikes, make the Nationals put the ball in play.
Rally cap time. Nick Johnson is 1 for 3 with the single. The first time the Nationals had a runner in scoring position since the 4th inning. Ball 1. They had runners at first and second with nobody out in the 4th. Jose Guillen tried to bunted into a forced play at second. Then Wilson grounded into a double play to end the inning. That's been the offense. 1-1.
They also wasted a good start by John Halama, even though he stands to be the losing pitcher. Did a good job in 5 1/3 innings, and he gave up 2 earned runs.
Line foul. 1-2 to Nick Johnson. Halama left with a score tied 0-0. Hector Carrasco allowed 2 inherited runners to score. But Halama would be the loser despite pitching so well. This team's got to find a way to score some runs, though. This drought is unbelievable. Ground ball to second baseman Luna. There's one. Eckstein to first. Double play. Wilkerson goes to third. Now there are 2 outs.
Well, Luna, who began the game in right field, came into second base. Here makes a good play, not only getting over, but using his footwork to get this throw to Eckstein, who steps across the bag and still had time to get Johnson at first base. Eckstein avoids Jamie Carroll.
It's like a matador.
Yeah. Olay.
Avoiding the bull. Jose Guillen up with 2 outs and a runner at third. Takes a fastball high from Ray King. Guillen is 0 for 3 lifetime against King. One and one. Fastball high, 2-1. The Nationals 1 out away from being shut out in back-to-back games for the first time this season. Pop fly to right field, and that's the ball game. John Mabry makes the catch. The Cardinals have shut out the Nationals again. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left in the ninth. It's on to Atlanta, still trying to find a way to score some runs. They've now gone 22 2/3 innings since they scored their last run. 6-0 St. Louis. Today, the St. Louis Cardinals shut out the Nationals, winning today 6-0. Brad Thompson, the winner, now 2-0. John Halama, the loser, 0-1. David Eckstein led the way with 2 doubles and 2 runs scored as the Cards take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. Well, John Halama started the game, pitched very well, gave up back-to-back hits, and then was taken out. Cal Eldred, starting in place of the injured Mark Mulder, gave them 3+ innings, and the bullpen did the rest away. But this game was really decided in the 6th inning.
It really was. Good job by Halama today, but really in the 6th inning, after giving up a double to David Eckstein over the head of Brad Wilkerson, Halama then walked Edmonds, and Carrasco came in and got this ball from Molina that could have been a double play. It would have been a tough one, but the good hard slide by John Rodriguez allows Eckstein to score. And then this double steal by the Cardinals confused the Nationals, surprised the Nationals. Edmonds coming under that tag from Bennett.
So a disappointing 2-4 homestand. Now it's on to Atlanta to face the first place Braves.
Well, it's going to be tough. Atlanta plays really well at home, and unless the Nationals can find a way to score some runs, it's going to be very difficult for the team and the pitching staff.
Well, I don't know what the answer is, but they've been shut out twice in this series, and it's on to Atlanta where they'll run into some more good pitching. Final score this afternoon from RFK: the St. Louis Cardinals 6, the Washington Nationals 0. Back with a final word in a moment. Back to RFK Stadium after losing the first game. The Cardinals bounce back to win the next 2 against the Nationals and take the series 2-1, winning 6-0 yesterday and again 6-0 today. For Ron Darling, I'm Mel Proctor. Join us tomorrow at 7:30 on Mass. The Nationals travel to Atlanta for a 4-game series against the NL East leading Braves. This has been a presentation of the Mid-Atlantic Sports Network. So long, everybody.